and welcome back to ATAR News HSC 2017 Studies of Religion Census Data video number 2. So on this one we're going to be focusing a little bit more on Australia's no religion. The reason for this being that there was a substantial difference between 2016 and 2017 when it comes to no religion between the last two census. So we're going to be going through that and focus on that today. So for the first time in Australian history, no religion has become a more popular option in the census than Catholicism. Please take note, it is not a more popular option than Christianity, just Catholicism. So between 2011 and 2016, an additional 2.2 million people declared no religion. I've just put a little tiny graph down the bottom there so you can see. But it's important to note that not only did no religion rise in popularity, but Catholicism decreased in adherence. So that's really important to recognize, that it's not just one decreasing and the other remaining the same, it's going both ways. What could have contributed to this? Well, one reason is for the first time the no religion box was moved to the top of the options that you can tick. Previously, the options were written all down vertically and then there would be a spot to write other, and then below other was no religion. This was moved up to the top as it has been in previous census in countries not too dissimilar from our own, like New Zealand and Canada, and the results from them were the same, that so many people were likely to tick no religion when it was put to the top of the sheet there. The campaign by the Atheist Foundation of Australia urged those born into religion but no longer practicing to select no religion. Have a look on the website there, mark no religion. They have some pretty good statistics there as well, which might be good to add to your study notes. Similar campaigns saw similar results in New Zealand and the UK, particularly with their own census collections. What's happened in Australia is not irregular when we compare ourselves to similar countries to our own in terms of their own census and their collection of religious data. If you write agnosticism, atheism, rationalism, or humanism, it is counted as no religion. On the ABS website, there is the option to go dig deeper and to work out who voted for what even within no religion, but for the purpose of HSC here, we're going to group them all together as no religion. Jedi is not counted as no religion, it is counted as not defined. No religion entered the census in 1991 as an official option, but obviously it had been written before, given that there is an opportunity for people to write other. Of the overseas born population of 2016, 27% did not have a religion. Really, really interesting, particularly in the last video how we were looking at the different religions, the religions other than Christianity in terms of their percentage there. Most of them were less than 10%. So when we look at Australia's no religion and recognise 27% of our migrant intake did not have a religion, quite significant in understanding where our religious landscape comes from. I also think it's interesting just to colour in the understanding of the Australian no religion vote. Age and no religion. In 2016, men were 32%, who voted 32%, were more likely than women, 28%, to say they had no religion. So it's only 4% extra, but men were more likely than women. Also on screen there, I've got the age and no religion graph here. So that you can see that there seems to be a little bit of a peak of maybe some mid-20s crisis up there of no religion. People aren't sure anymore, rejecting all forms of religion and so forth. So there is a peak of no religion up there. So we all have that to look forward to in our 20s. Yay us. Then we're looking down the graph and we're seeing that it goes onwards to see that people, the older they are, the less likely they are to say that they have no religion and more likely they are to say they do follow religion. I'm obviously just joking about the mid-20s crisis. It's not just a reflection of things all going haywire in our 20s, but the reason that our younger generation are more likely to be critical of our religions. If I look at our parents' generation or the generation after, you can see that religion is not so much seen as a personal choice in a lot of situations, but strongly linked to family, workplace, and education. It's not so much the same in our own landscape for a lot of people anymore, which is why that young people are having the opportunity and they are exercising it to consider if they do want to follow a religion or not. Also, just as another one here to colour in the information you already have, a percentage of people reporting no religion by level of highest educational level attained. As we go up, we see that the higher level of education that one has attained, the more likely they are to report of having no religion. This is a 2011 statistic, I will point out. I haven't been able to find this yet for the 2016. You don't need to know this for the HSC. You could draw conclusions to say that potentially as we are becoming a more educated nation, that our no religion argument is rising at the same time, but it's not at the same rate. So it's not a conclusive thing I want to point out here, but something just to pique your own interest in the issue. Secularism, I'm bringing this in here, well, it obviously is in the syllabus as well, but putting it next to no religion for the reason that there's a lot of debate, particularly at the moment in our society, between the idea of religion and politics and secularism, essentially. So what secularism is religion should not interfere with or be incorporated into society. So to be a secular society is to be a religion that's, to be a society that's run without the direct consideration of religion. A secular school is a school that is not characterized by a religion. It doesn't just apply to politics either. It's an understanding of society through science as well. Essentially, if society has become a more secular, it becomes less religious in the terms of the way it has been run. So why do we have secularism? Increasing pluralism, which I've put down the bottom there, is not just about diversity, it's the energetic engagement with diversity. It's about understanding and educating. It's not about societies being divided in their religions. It's about people coming together and people of different religions or no religion at all living together and actively engaging with one another. Materialism and individualism is another reason why secularism is on the rise and that we are in peak capitalism at the moment. And we're really actively looking at individualism and the way that we can see what we can do for ourselves, what can happen for us in this big wide world, essentially, which is why there is a big peak of younger people reporting no religion as well. Disillusionment with traditional religions as well. I'm sure you've heard this or you've seen it on your Facebook from someone or something like this about the idea where people are just looking and recognizing that traditional religions are just not for them because they're just dissatisfied with a whole bunch of things. It could be with the way they're treating issues in the media. It could be with the way they're addressing new issues of technology or ethics and so on. It's a general dissatisfaction with the way that traditional religions are dealing with something, which links into individualism, saying that I don't want to follow this because I don't particularly agree with the way that this is being dealt with or treated or so forth. For this reason, we have again increasing secularism, saying that as we're becoming increasingly disillusioned with traditional religions, we don't want them in the running of our society. And of course, a trust in science. For some people, this is mutually exclusive, religion and science. For other people, there can be an overlap there as well. Notes from the Marking Centre of 2014. I've just put the question up the top here. For some Australians, God is no longer important. Religion does not seem attractive as the country is becoming increasingly secular. So this was a 2014 HSC short answer. Apparently, the candidate showed strength in referring to the quote when responding to the question, so that's great. Recognizing that there are a range of reasons for the current religious landscape, including the effect of immigration, and supporting their response with relevant examples. So that's really good. They're key things. Responding to the question, recognizing that there's a range of reasons, and using relevant examples. Super good. Then we need to improve on the areas of ensuring that statistics are up to date, for example, referring to 2011 instead of 2006. For this reason, I've made sure that we are completely up to date with 2011 and 2016 census, so we can definitely engage with the latest census data and really count accurately for the religious landscape. Focusing on the current religious landscape rather than early colonisation is another area candidates need to improve in. The reason I can see why someone would refer to early colonisation is because they're comparing the way the country was according to the first census in 1901 to now. I understand why someone would do that, but it's not necessary when the question specifically says account for the current religious landscape. It's a tangent, it's going off topic, and when it's only a 5 marker, you don't need to be drawing such long bows. And lastly, addressing the key term account for rather than giving a descriptive response. So it's one thing to be able to give a response saying, hey, this is what the religious landscape looks like at the moment. It's another thing to account for, which is hopefully what you've been able to gain from me showing you these graphs and so forth and bringing in the latest immigration data so that you can understand exactly why the religious landscape is the way it is at the moment. And lastly here, I do want to bring up this 2011 and 2016 comparison. Please feel free to take a copy of this for your own notes, or I would personally print this out, make up my own copy, stick it on my desk above my notes here so that I can pay attention to it, keep it up there. It's a comparison to show the difference between the two. The reason in 2016 I put no religion at the top there is I really just wanted to draw attention to it as being the most significant incline, but otherwise it goes down, it goes in order of highest to lowest percentage followed. Judaism down the bottom there has been moved down. I wouldn't typically put it on there because I just wanted to keep it to the top 5 plus no religion, but I did want to make sure that everyone was taking note of the fact that Judaism has fallen below Sikhism for the first time. Alright, great. Thank you for finishing off census data. How good do you feel that it's all done and dusted? All you have to do now is to commit it to memory, really sink it in there. And hopefully some of the more interesting points of census data will be able to stay with you and you'll be able to remember little bits and bobs. And I'm sure whether you're watching this with weeks to go or days to go, I'm not really sure, but I'm positive that you'll be able to remember so much more than what you ever first thought. You think of this time last year where you knew absolutely nothing, and don't tell me you know absolutely nothing now either. I'm certain you do. Have a look at these notes online. They are really, really succinct. They take out all of the other stuff that's in textbooks that makes it a bit convoluted, a bit like story-ish, and instead we've got exactly what you need right here. It's written in a past student's voice, yours truly, and they're not just my notes, they're notes that I've made specifically for this cohort. I've looked online, I've asked students from last year's cohort, what else did you want to see, what would help you learn, and then I've updated them again for the newest census data, so these are ridiculously up to date. Super proud of these. I wouldn't plug them if I didn't believe in them, not just because my name's on there. Ha ha ha. Please jump online to atarnotes.com and you can have a look at the shop tab to purchase yourself a great bundle of notes right here. But also atarnotes.com for any questions you have, studies of religion related or not, academic related or not. We've got your back, you're feeling stressed, you're not sure what to do. atarnotes.com, we've got you, I promise. It's a really great place to be, especially this time of year. Best of luck for your HSC guys, 100% here for you.